What's going on, guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of Door Kickers 2 Task Force North, where we've been using realistic military tactics and CQB doctrine to play this game. This game is called Door Kickers 2. It's available over on Steam and also on my game store at nexus.gg/controlledpairsgaming. And it's a top-down isometric tactical planning game. Most of you guys have seen me play it many times before. It's one of my very favorites. And in this game, you're given a scenario, you're given a group of assaulters to choose from, you equip them with the right gear for the mission, and then you plan out from a top-down perspective how that game or how that mission should be executed. You can pause it as you go and adjust the plan on the fly. We use this environment to talk through how we would think about this tactical situation and then play it out to see how it would go. It's not a one-to-one replica of real life by any means, but it is very interesting to test your tactical planning ability and your critical thinking and just sheer luck to see if you can make these things go as planned. And I've never played this level before. It's called Friends in Dire Places. The scenario we've been given is that a small contractor element has been ambushed during the exfiltration from a recent op, and they have Alamo up here in the northwestern corner of the map. We are en route with a QRF team comprised of 4 Rangers that have arrived in a MATV down here in the southeast, and our task is to move to and secure those 3 isolated contractor personnel and then escort them to the exfil site located back down here in the southeast. If this stuff is interesting to you and you think you might be interested in learning a little bit more about door kickers, you might be happy to learn that I recently interviewed my buddy Dan, who is the creative director and co-founder of Kill House Games and the brilliant mind behind much of what is Door Kickers 2. We had a conversation on my podcast, which is the Controlled Pairs podcast. The link to that is down in the description below. I'll actually throw it on screen right now as well. You guys may get a kick out of listening to our conversation about how door kickers came to be and what the future holds for the game. Now let's get to planning out our mission for today. The first thing we always do is conduct intelligence preparation of the battlefield. Intelligence preparation of the battlefield is a very long and drawn out process that occurs in the operations and intelligence section during the military decision-making process of the Army's training model. Other services have different names for it. All of them essentially conduct the same kind of tasks. But what IPB does is allows you to think from the perspective of the enemy and how they may fight, how they may organize themselves, what they may be comprised of. And then you also take a look at how the terrain and light and the weather and the temperature all might affect the environment. In door kickers, that does not necessarily apply one-to-one. This is a tactical recreation of a small scale firefight level conflict, but we still want to do our best to try to predict how the enemy may fight and do some course of action development from his perspective, so we might be able to anticipate how he fights and then plan accordingly. The worst thing you could possibly do in a game like this is just do a movement to contact, not really apply a lot of logic or planning into your thought process, and then suffer the consequences as a result. So we are a little bit more deliberate in it. And so today we know that these contractors during their exfil were compromised, they barricaded up. So by virtue of that, we already know that they are in contact and that there is enemy close and hunting for them. It's difficult to determine exactly what vehicle they arrived in since they're a low visibility contract element from a agency which shall not be named. According to the brief, they are probably operating in some sort of non-tactical vehicle. Perhaps this is their vehicle they bailed out when inside. Perhaps during their ambush they suffered some casualties in this rollover and the survivors got inside. Either way, they're under fire, and the enemy, because of that, can be assumed to already be in the area. And based off of that, I would also assume the enemy to be generally oriented on those contractors. The brief also says this is a hostile area. That doesn't mean there aren't civilians present, but it means that there is certainly a lot of targets, certainly a lot of bad guys that we need to be concerned about throughout the course of our operation. I've already done a cursory scan of all of these adjacent structures, and just looking at them, I don't see a ton of evidence of nefarious activity. I do see a pistol on the counter here, but again, that's in a market. This could just be someone in a market that defends their residence, their place of business. Nothing really out of ordinary about a pistol being located at a place of business. Maybe it's a little weird that it's just sitting on the counter, but then again, if it was in a drawer, I couldn't see it, so I understand why it was placed there. Looking around over here, it's like a lounge area. Maybe they've got some clothes drying up in against the wall. There's like files and stuff. There's some shisha right here, so adult males hanging out potentially in this area for sure. More shisha over here. Office space. So this looks kind of like a lounge area. Nothing, particularly nefarious about it, other than I'm kind of getting the feel that there's a lot of adult males hanging out around here, because you're seeing, areas for a lot of people to sit. There's a bunch of shisha on display. This means that it's a place where people congregate, and if you have a lot of adult males hanging out in an area, where it is allegedly a high, enemy occupancy or a lot of hostiles in the area, I would expect that at least some of them are likely to be hostile. Again, outside, we're seeing kind of the same thing. A lot of traffic congestion, a lot of people just responding to the crisis, as it were. We see police cars are already on the scene, so there could be indigenous forces that we have to contend with. Up here in the northeast, super tight, claustrophobic structure. Looks like, apartments, essentially, living quarters, multi-story structure. Big glass pane here. I also noticed a real big glass pane around the entire perimeter of this market down here. This means this is going to provide some concealment, but not necessarily cover. It's not going to stop bullets, so it's not something that we want to really fight from unless we're forced to do it. Nothing particularly out of whack, though, just looking at the kind of apartments up here, other than that it's extremely claustrophobic, and we don't want to go in there unless we absolutely have to. We do know that because these contractors have been compromised, that the enemy is collapsing to this area. This is now, these three men are high payoff targets if you are the enemy. Killing, capturing, putting them on TV, cutting their heads off, and putting it on the news. Those things are going to bring credit to your cause and raise awareness, help you with recruiting, money, information operations, psychological operations, all of that. So we can presume, based off of the importance of this target, those three guys, from the perspective of the enemy, that other enemy in the area are going to be arriving here in due time. They're either going to be coming from adjacent structures. Again, I think this is the most likely structure, just based off of the likelihood of a high male slant on that compound. And then, of course, the other areas that they're going to be arriving from is going to be these high-speed avenues of approach. Just a fancy word for a place you can drive down fast. We got traffic on our side, so the vehicles aren't going to be able to come to the center of the map, and there are no vehicles that move yet, anyway, in door kickers too. But still, we could expect to see reinforcements arriving from this direction or from this direction. Or certainly from this direction. And I'm less concerned of them coming from this way, because I'm assuming if I've got police cars here, I've got indigenous forces already kind of responding, that they would be establishing blocking positions in the perimeter on the route that they arrived from. Maybe that's too hopeful of me to think. So how are we going to go about getting these guys out? Well, it's not really a hostage rescue quite yet, because these aren't hostages. They're still, in a fighting condition, at least to some degree. But we still need to move with a lot of haste, because we want to get in, contact them, and get out before the enemy can mass against us, attrit us, and defeat us. To accomplish that, we only have 4 dudes to do it. It's the odds are not in our favor. That is not a lot of trigger pullers to solve a complex problem like the one that we are looking at now. And if I were to reduce the amount of equipment these guys are carrying, I could spawn them over here in these police cars to get them a heck of a lot closer. And if I put them in indigenous clothing, remove their weapon, and conceal them, I could even spawn them here and use them to kind of scout out the area. You guys know that has never been my style, so we are going to go the direct action route because all nails, regardless of size, can be driven with a hammer. And so we're bringing 4 Rangers. I've got an assaulter. I'm bringing a drummer to the fight. He's got a Mark 18. What's different this time around is I put an LPVO on that Mark 18. That Daniel Defense Mark 18, you guys know it's something I'm extremely fond of just personally, but I think it's also a good weapon choice for this fight, because we're going to be fighting in the streets. We're also going to be fighting in buildings. That's the reason I put the LPVO on it. A 1-6 LPVO is a weird choice potentially for a 10.3-inch carbine, but that 1 by magnification with the appropriate eye relief is still going to let you get on target relatively quick. It can still be used, especially with point shooting in a close quarters environment, and our man Drummer knows how to handle it. Drummer's got his Glock 22 with irons, because there's no red dot option quite yet. He is running full metal jacket, 180 grain bullets in that Glock 22. He's got his helmet. He's got nods, because cool guys wear nods during the daytime. I did bring level 4 plates all the way around, just because I know this is going to be a big fight. We're not going the super mobile route. We're going the heavy but still moving quick route. And then I've got bangs, frags, and smokes. I'm not bringing a bunch of breaching equipment, because I can see where the guys are that I need to access. I'm going to use these doors to get to them, and I'm not anticipating a lot of breaches. The only breach I considered was potentially this wall breach right here, but I'm going to try to avoid it and take the street if I can, so I don't have to clear and fight through this structure. But we'll talk through more of the plan here in a second. In addition to Drummer, I am bringing Neoterra Rex with the Mark 48. The Mark 48 is a kind of a weird kind of a cool weapon, really. It's a medium machine gun chambered in 7.62. It's an open bolt weapon system, similar to the 240 in that it's got the same caliber, the same manual of arms, still operates from the open bolt, and has a similar max effective range. But it is different in that it's significantly lighter, and it has a lot of characteristics of the M249 SAW, with the difference being that it's not chambered in 5.56. What that means is you get the effects of a medium machine gun, but it's lighter and it can be crewed by one individual. I think a medium machine gun is going to be critical to holding down the high-speed avenue of approach in order to fight off the counterattack for this fight. I brought a marksman as well to pair up with our machine gunner. You know, machine guns and marksmen go well together. They have similar max effective range. One can suppress while the other picks off targets, and for that reason, it's a great composition for a battle position. And today we're bringing Grover to the fight with the M110 Alpha 1. It's a suppressed semi-automatic sniper system, just a simple gas gun. He's got a can on it. He's also got a 3-18 LR optic, and it is an effective weapon in his hands, as we have seen before. He's got his helmet. He's also rocking level 4s, more smokes, more frags, more smokes. Lot of smokes today. And then finally paired up with Drummer on the assault element, we've got Spartan 1 Actual. He's coming in with a Mark 18 as well, but he's got a 203, so he can shoot 40mm grenades with his carbine. And then rather than the LPVO, he's got an LCAN, which is a pretty cool little optic. The LCAN allows you to swap back and forth between 1x for CQB and close-in fighting out to a 4x, similar to an ACOG if you have to reach out just a little bit. So it doesn't give you the versatility per se as a traditional LPVO low-powered variable optic, but is a great dual role optic and perfectly suitable for a grenadier in this environment. His kit looks a lot like Drummer's next-gen helmet, Glock 22, all-around level 4 sappies, bangs, frags, and smokes. So that's who we've got coming to the fight. Here's how I plan to go about solving this problem. We're going to charge down this alleyway, which is dangerous in and of itself because it canalizes us in an area where an enemy peeking around this corner could achieve enfilade fires on us and attrit us rapidly. I'm assuming that risk based off of this area already being secured by at least 2 police cars, so I'm thinking I can at least get through this alleyway without being decisively engaged. Then I'm going to fight up to this police car here, provide security long enough to launch our assault element here. The goal is to eventually get our battle position with our machine gunner and our sniper established somewhere in here. This is not a great place for a battle position, but there are not a lot of great options. If we look around, if the goal of this battle position is to secure this road and then secure this road, the options are extremely limited. I could split them up, which is what I would want to do, and I could put one here and one here. I could have this guy fighting this way and this guy fighting this way, but I don't want to split them up too much, and that also significantly reduces my firepower in this direction. I feel like if I were to do that, I would eventually end up moving this guy over here and fighting long, putting me at a disadvantage while he is in transit and exposing him to fires. I'd rather put them right here for the short duration that we're going to be in position and have them pivot east and west as required to fight off counterattacks. This also gives them reasonably good eyes this direction and reasonably good eyes in that direction as well. And so once this battle position is established, really simultaneously or near simultaneously, I'm also going to launch my assaulters across the street. I'm doing this all with a lot of suppression and a lot of smoke to conceal our movement. We're going to breach these main doors right in front of our homies, potentially even this open door, get inside as fast as we can, make contact with these guys, and get out the same way we came. Lots of smoke, lots of suppression, right back across the street to our exfil point. If we had more people, I'd want to secure the exfil. I'd want to secure this intersection. I would establish a more robust battle position here, and then I'd probably also establish an additional battle position here so that we have good cover down all axes of approach, and we get our guys and get out. Some players may be tempted to clear the entire map. There's nothing wrong with doing that in this game. We're using a method of clearance in this evolution referred to as selective clearance, meaning we are choosing to only clear those things which are critical to the accomplishment of our mission, rather than a deliberate clearance which would see us clear every single one of these structures. I do expect that we're going to take contact from those structures. The goal is going to be to suppress that contact and continue moving so that we are not pinned down, decisively engaged, and sitting still for long enough for the enemy counterattack to mass against us. Let's go ahead and get started with the execution. I'm going to talk through it as I do it, and at the very end of this video, you'll see a playback with this entire mission, smooth as silk, successfully executed on a first attempt, blind look, because I have never seen it before, or at least that is what we hope. Here we go. First thing we're doing off this breakout, everyone is still silent right now by default because I have suppressors equipped. I'm going to go ahead and keep them weapons tight for our purposes, and I'll kind of allow them to fire once we think that it's necessary or we are hard compromised. We're going to launch around this vehicle, pull cross coverage all the way down this alley. We're running to get to this position before we launch to our next position. Here we go. Oh, God. There's shit exploding up by the contractors already. Oh, damn. Okay. All right, so we're now in a position to start helping these guys out. This contractor's already been engaged once, and he is hurting. They've got an additional assault over here, This is their marksman, who is in a gunfight in the street. So as we kind of expected, the enemy is arrayed around them already and already firing onto them. So far, the enemy is behaving as we expected. We'll see if that situation changes as we continue to kind of make headway into this structure. Next thing we're going to do, I think, is going to launch an assaulter. So this is a good combo, an assaulter with a marksman up here. I'm going to have them hold for a go code to do that. I'm going to get these guys up because I also want to pull security to their rear as we move to occupy this space. All right, we're going to do this one a little bit slower. I am going to take them off quiet now. I'm going to have these guys pan this. All right, this is a dangerous move, In fact, I think I'm going to even have him take a short peek right there to make sure he's not in trouble, and he'll even stop right there at that moment to make sure that his rear is clear before progressing. Here we go.
Alpha, go.
We do have shooters deep, kind of as expected. He's a ways off. He does have an RPG 26. This is a good marksmanship target. I'm going to have him go ahead and freeze to take this shot. Everyone else is going to kind of hold as well for the shot to occur. We'll get these guys into some cover. We are really bunched up now, extremely dangerous here, but we got to make sure we're super deliberate with how the rest of this fight goes. That marksman did make that good long shot. Next thing we're going to do is start getting smoke out. That is a bang, not smoke. So I'm leaving my sniper with his gun up because he's clearly the most effective at this moment based off his position. I'm getting smoke out in locations where we know it's going to help us.
Alpha, go.
I am concerned about the structure behind us. Jesus Christ. This dude did a quick about face with a freaking RPK. Get some cover, my dog. That's my sniper, and I cannot afford to lose him right now. And he's already injured. Grover, get down, my dude. Everyone else is throwing gats, or throwing smoke too, so we're hurting. Immediately going to follow up with a frag as soon as I can. Frag's going to go here. Where's my machine gunner at? He's chucking a frag. Door open rear, I think. Civilian. Okay. Smoke's out. I don't know if that frag went out or not. It did not. Asked for it. It didn't go. I might have tasked him inappropriately. Alright, next thing we're going to do is get our battle position ready to launch. I'm going to set my machine gunner here. He's going to go ahead and start suppressing the street as we know it. I want to be careful here not to put fires on my homies. So I think I'm going to go with this route. And as I do that, I'm also going to move my grenadier up here. I'm going to tell my sniper he can go ahead and stand back up We're still looking for that PK shooter over here. Looks like we do have that one enemy down, but that PK shooter, I don't know if he's dead or not. I'm also looking for a counterattack coming this way. Only 24 seconds have expired. We still need to hustle. I'm going to have that machine gunner move to double time. Alright, machine gunner is suppressing. Our assault element is going to initiate movement. We're going to come this way, have one peek this corner on the double. Have the other one bypass him. We'll end up having to turn that fire off from that machine gunner. It's a sheet metal door. Not a lot of cover, but at least they can't see through it. I am worried about this window right here as well. There's already a dead guy in there. This building's turning out to be hostile, kind of as expected. Civilians mixed in on the battlefield, also raising a concern at this point. This will allow us to get at least one guy into cover. There we go. That suppression's working effectively for now. I'm a little concerned about my flank here, so I'm going to move my sniper up and have him pull security over my buddy's shoulder. Still looking deep over here, not seeing anything. We've got good security long. I'm going to push long to protect my buddy here. He's going to maintain security on this open breach, kind of in this general area to kind of cover this door as well as these windows. He's going to have to do it quick. That suppression is saving our lives as we speak. Civilian in there. Oh, we got a shooter right here close. This is y'all's time to shine. Additional reinforcements popping up top. I'm going to put the sniper on that right away. Everyone's wounded, man, and this is it's getting nasty quick. Got to get these guys into cover. Ricky tick. I'm also going to shift this machine gunner suppression to the north. And we get more smoke out up here. All right, we took our first casualty. That one stung. Gosh, dang it. I didn't even see where that shooter came from. Okay, so they're barricaded in here with our buddies. Look at this. We already lost one of our contractors. They're getting pushed super, super hard. If we can get anyone out of here alive, it's going to be impressive. And we took our second casualty. That was a battle position I didn't spot. Look at that. Very clear Jersey barrier battle position set up there. Maybe it was just to facilitate the traffic pattern, or maybe it was for what we just witnessed. All right, so I've got a machine gunner and a sniper and no assault element. This is wild. Who was even shooting, and what are you shooting? What are you shooting? A 9mm subgun? Get dead. Alright, we're running low on smoke, so we're just going to have to do this thing the good old-fashioned way, which is not good. I'm sending my machine gunner first. That's probably not the wisest move. He's my good base of fire, so I'll leave him in position as a base of fire to react to contingencies. I'm going to hustle with my sniper right up to here as fast as I can. A lot of risk in doing so. How's my machine gunner doing on ammo? 15 of 100. I don't have time. I'm just going to have to reload on the move. This is a big no-no. I've got a dude moving and a dude loading a freaking belt fed at the same time, which is absolutely stupid, but time is of the essence, and that's what we're going with. These guys are in the fight of their lives up there, too. Jesus, dude. These guys don't stop. This is where I need that belt fed. Oh, my God. Look at them all. Look at them. Look at them. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to put fire on this breach with one, interdict the rest with my sniper. I got more coming up top here. Sniper's going to provide suppression. I'm going to move the machine gunner into position. Machine gunner set. Not ideal. We'll get him right here. Alright, Sniper's going to make the bold leap of faith. He's going to do it by getting a smoke out first. Best place for that smoke. I'm going to say right here. Yeah, I'm going to say here. Alright, Sniper's going to make a run for it. Let's go, Grover! Straight into here to make contact with this dude. This is irresponsible. That's a freaking... That's a suicide bomber. He's got to take that shot now. Let's go, Grover! Shooter there. Immediately suppressing with the machine gun. Sniper dies in the freaking breach despite the fact that we're suppressing the portholes. All we've got left is the machine gun. And that's a wrap, folks. All right, I'm going to run it back. I'm going to try it again. This map is clearly designed to be done with highly mobile dudes hauling ass from the beginning. But I'm going to force it to happen my way.
Alpha, go.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Alright, guys. I got it done. Somehow that was 2 stars. I literally lost all but one of my original 4 and all but one of the contractors. What an absolute nut roll of a suicide mission. But I hope you guys did enjoy the talk through. Check out this replay of the one that went right. And interestingly, the plan that I initially designed did work. It was just extremely difficult, but it did work as designed, and I think like what the game is kind of encouraging you to do in this one is go light, spawn in the street, and just sprint straight into the structure, grab the people, and get out. But you know, we like to make it hard on ourselves. Anyway, enjoy the replay. Here we go.
Alpha.